G'day, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Mighty Melbourne Stars podcast. It's Jacob here from Melbourne Stars News, and today we'll be reviewing the Scorchers game last night at Optus Stadium. I'm here with Sam. How are you doing today, Sam?
Hey mate, thanks for having me back. I'm doing all right, thank you. But yeah, very disappointing game last night, honestly. And I think most fans will agree with that.
Yeah, it was. And once again, it was at the coin toss where it felt lost, as some would say. We lose the coin toss. We obviously get sent into bat, which we knew was coming because which captain wouldn't send us into bat? They know the statistics. We haven't won a
Exactly.
game batting first. So how were you feeling, when we saw that the toss was lost and that we were going to be batting first at Optus Stadium?
I knew straight away something was not going to go well, but I also did not expect us to lose 2 wickets within the first over. Sorry, 3 weeks within the first 4 overs of the innings. Like that was a huge disappointment of it. And then, Storm saved our ass last night, which was good to see, but it wasn't enough, obviously. So, we obviously needed more help, and that really is affecting us, this little downfall we're going through at the moment.
Yeah, it is hurting a lot. And as you mentioned, Stone really did save us. He just anchored the innings through that middle part. We lost Harper, Clark, and Rogers in the first 2.2 overs, I believe. When you're 3 wickets down, that's a big concern. And yeah, Stoinis and Callaway were able to build a little partnership. We couldn't afford to lose any wickets, so they just had to take things slow, which obviously led to the low total. When we're having dot balls and just taking singles, we're gonna we're gonna have a low total, but you can't risk losing another wicket when we're still in the power play. So it made
Yeah.
sense what they were doing, and then obviously Stoin was able to kind of clutch a little bit. He made a lovely 55 runs. Callaway contributed. Cartwright made 13 odd, but that's not enough. And when Glenn Maxwell is not performing as well, we need more help from that top order. So yeah, another tough kind of batting performance at Optus. That's 8 losses in a row to the Scorchers, which
Ugh.
really hurts. So going into next game, kind of what changes would you be making to the batting lineup, because it really did struggle last night?
It's a hard one because we haven't got much depth at the moment, so I think we just got to have to go with what we've got. But Rogers cannot be an opener. I'm sorry, but him and Harper don't work well together. I'm sorry to say. Clark and Harper worked well against the Thunder. You know, I think do that, bring to get confidence back, even open Maxi. Find some confidence, find some rhythm. But then again, it really does depend who we play next. Depends. It literally lies on tonight's final game of the season.
Yeah, no, 100%. We'll all be tuning in, and most of us will be rooting for the Brisbane Heat, I believe, as we all want that home final at the Junior. I like that point of Rogers maybe not opening. We saw what he did against the Renegades. He made a lovely 50,
Off
but,
20 balls,
Marvel
yeah.
Stadium, yeah. But that was kind of the only real good opening performance he's had. We saw he made a 30 just 2 games ago, but it was at a very slow strike rate. Now, I understand why Clark didn't open last game. He's just been out for 5 or 6, I think 5 games or 4 games in a row.
Mm.
And coming back to Optus Stadium, which is a very tough batting wicket, and he didn't go so well last year either at Optus. Um, I think it was the right decision not to open Clark, but Clark at the MCG is a different person. He really has a bad performance at the MCG. He knows the ground really well, and he always gets us off to solid starts. So him and Sam Harper paired up top at the MCG, I think, is the perfect combo for if we were to play the Brisbane Heat on Wednesday night. And then I just
Yes.
have Rogers at 3. I think we're obviously going to play him because as you mentioned, we don't have batting depth, so we stick with the same lineup. Move Rogers to 3. The pressure goes off him slightly, and he's able to come in and just play a bit more freely. Callaway likes 4, and then Stoinis at 5 is completely fine. I think Maxwell at 6, Cartwright at 7. I think we have to roll with that and just hope that we have some more top order people firing.
100%. I think we've really got to be mindful of the fact that we need to get off to better starts because unfortunately, we can't keep relying on Harper and all those. It needs to be a team effort sort of thing. So it's like, it's pretty disappointing. And to be bowled out within 18 and a half overs, that makes it even worse, as you said. So something's really got to change. And the fact that there was nearly two hat tricks last night made it even more difficult. So I mean, the fight back was there, but to get that done within 17 overs for the Scorchers, that was unacceptable.
Yeah, we really needed to step up. And one last thing I wanted to talk about on the batting before we move to the bowling is the power surge. I personally believe we took it way too late, and I actually had a statistic written down. I think that was the sixth time we've taken the power surge in the 15th over. So 6 out of 10 games, that's more than half. That's 60%. We've taken the power surge in the 15th over. Do you think that's too late?
Yeah, it should have been a little bit sooner, like between the 12th and 14th, 15th is when we should have taken it, when Stoinis and Cartwright would came in, but again, that's when it should have been done, but again, we were too late. We didn't think, we were not smart enough, and it just didn't go the way we had hoped.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the situation of the game. If we're striking the ball really well, maybe we do wait for the power surge a bit later. But when you have two established batsmen, like Storm was on 55 runs and Cartwright, he wasn't doing fantastic, but you'd rather have him in than Mitch Swepson. So we had two good
Mm.
batters in. They'd faced a few balls. We'd caught up a little bit. It was the perfect time to take the surge. I think we were 87 runs off 12 overs going into the
Yeah.
13th over. It's not great, but it's not bad, and we could have easily caught up, made 40, maybe not 40, but 35, 30 runs off the power surge, and then Maxwell and Curran come in the last few overs and kind of just go at it. But instead, it felt like we were waiting for Maxwell, which I think is the wrong decision. Because power surge or not, Maxwell's going to play aggressive, so we don't need to wait for him. We should have just taken advantage of the two established batters that we had in, and I think it would have been a totally different situation if we had taken that surge 2 to 3 overs earlier. What do you think about that?
Oh, 100%. It would have been a different scenario, and we would have had a better score, honestly, than 130. I think could have been a bit more competitive at like maybe 165, 170, but the problem is we just, as you said, Surge was taken too late, and we didn't use it to our advantage. It was just piss poor, is all I can say, like
Yeah.
something needs to change. Like, again, we need another spray, pull our finger out of our asses, and the fact that we can't have Scotty Boland play, but guys like Smith and all the rest who played in the Test Ashes get to play, I think is beyond a joke. To be honest, like Kawaja, Labuschagne for the Heat as another example. Like, it's not. I don't think it's fair, to be honest. Like the way it's done, I think it's purely rigged. But that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I think the main thing is we really need the Heat to pull something out tonight and make sure they win because from, like you said, third versus fourth, I think from my understanding, it's, whoever, if we win that, we versus the loser of first versus second.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, I'm just trying to catch up on it because because we got off to a good start and then we had a massive slump again, like, to end the season 6-4 is better than last season, but it's still not good enough. The
Yeah. So we
way
got
we,
one better than last season. But potentially we'll finish in the same spot as last season. We wait and see. And yeah, as you were talking about finals, so whoever wins tonight is in, whoever loses is out, between the Heat and
essentially,
the Sixers. So if the Sixers win, they're actually going to jump all the way to second and play the Scorchers at Optus Stadium on Tuesday night. If the
yep. And
Sixers
then we
lose and
play
the
the
Heat get in,
Hurricanes.
yeah. Yeah, that means we would play the Hurricanes. If the Sixers win, we play the Hurricanes at Ninja Stadium in Hobart. If the Heat win, then they finish fourth, we finish third. We play a home elimination final against them at the G. So I think we know
Mm,
which one we'd rather, but yeah,
100%,
we wait
yeah.
and see. So we want to move on to the bowling now. Our bowlers, I think, showed a bit of hope at the start. I mean, Harris Ralph was 3 for 2 off the first couple overs. Pete Siddle was just giving his all. So was Tom Curran. Even Swepson contributed nicely. I don't know. I feel like our bowlers are showing that they can defend low totals because there's been so many times where we've batted first and put up a pretty poor total, and you think, geez, this is going to be over quickly. However, these guys make it a game, and we've seen that, with the Renegade, the first Derby, even the Gabba game.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much the Sixers game, but there's been plenty of times where, they've put fight and hope, into our innings, even though we've posted a low total. And I think they did that last night. Well, at least for the first kind of 7 overs.
Yeah,
Um,
even the
they,
first derby at the G was another example where they put up a good fight at the end, but it was just too little too late. And I think that's
yeah,
what it is at the moment. It's just too little too late the way we're going at the moment. So and then you got the fact that we got Marsh out early helps, but the fact that we couldn't get Finellen out for a low total was very disappointing because I think he was by far the best international signing of the tournament. Like everyone said, it would be Baba Azam or Mohammed Rizwan or whatever, but no, it wasn't them at all. It was definitely Finn Allen. No one can stop him. Like he's a monster. Like if only he could
yeah,
bring that form for the Kiwi, the Black Caps in international cricket, then you'd have a different story. But at this rate, we would like to get someone like him next season, but again, with our bowling, House Ralph 3 for 2. That's by far his best performance in quite some time. So, in that sort of stats because he bowled really well. But then again, we need to bring that form next Wednesday night against whoever we're playing.
yeah. I like how you mentioned too little, too late. It was simply that. If we just had to put on 30 more runs, it could have been a different story. We could be hosting the qualifying final, but we can't say if and or but. We didn't bat well. It was simple. We collapsed. We choked. You can say whatever you want. We simply weren't
Mm,
good enough. Our bowlers tried their best at the start, but once again, yeah, credit to Finn Allen. He was phenomenal. Couple missed opportunities in the field. They were tough catches. They weren't sitters. But still, we have to capitalise on them and take them if we're going to want to host and finish first. But yeah, I think overall it was a promising bowling performance. They really did show our bowlers that they are capable, and they're clearly been our success story this season. Has Tom Curran, Harris Ralph, and Peter Siddle, those top three. Harris Ralph now leads the competition in wickets, so congratulations to Harris. That's for the regular season. I'm not sure if it continues on in finals. I don't think it does.
it
And
does not,
Sam
no.
Harper doesn't, and Sam Harper finished second behind David Warner. So a great season for them both, but we really need them to continue firing for a few more games in finals if we want to push for a grand final spot. But yeah, overall, I guess that sums up the Perth Scorchers game. It marks our 8th consecutive loss to the Perth Scorchers. It's pretty disappointing. I think that's a record, and it seems every time we play Perth, it never goes our way. It would be nice to play them at the MCG once. I can't remember the last time we did that. I think it might be a
Nah,
different
not.
story, but
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. Anyway, we move on. We can't worry about that game now. The Scorchers are likely to face the Sixers or the Canes, so we wait and see, and we'll play the loser of that if we win the elimination final. So we wait and see who that's against. Hopefully the Brisbane Heat. I think we have a much better chance at the MCG with that being our home ground, our fortress against the Brisbane Heat. And we know how
Yes.
dangerous the Canes are at Ninja Stadium. They rarely lose there. So we really don't want to be facing elimination up there or down there in Hobart. So we wait and see. We watch on tonight and we cheer for the Brisbane Heat. It is at the Gabba, so it gives me a little bit more hope. But yeah, do you have anything else you
Especially
want to add
if
about the review?
as long as Wildermuth, Bryant, Renshaw, Kawaja can get going with the bat, and they've got some good young talent for bowlers as well. So I think they have a really good crack at it tonight against likes of Smith, Azam, whatever. All those big names for the Sixers. Stark might be playing tonight as well, I'm hearing. So that's again another rigged situation. So, yeah, in all seriousness, I'm seriously going. I'm rooting for this Heat tonight. Screw the Sixers. They've won enough. They won enough games. They've won enough. Um, they've won the Big Bash quite a few times. So I think it's about time someone else wins it. As long as it's not Hobart going back to back, or well, unfortunately, I hate saying it, but I think Perth is the most obvious favourite this year. But then again, it really depends who comes out on top. So, yeah, look, I'm predicting a
Yeah.
heat win tonight. I'm think all Stars fans, that's what the most ideal outcome is. Otherwise, we do have to travel to, we do have to
Hobart.
travel to Hobart, and I'm not really looking forward to that.
Yeah, exactly. Perth are now in the optimal position to win. They have guaranteed home finals now, and they defend Optus very well. So if we do go all the way to the final, it's likely that we'll be playing the Scorchers there, but we wait and see on results. So yeah, thank you all for listening to another episode of the Mighty Melbourne Stars podcast. It's been great to review our final game of the regular season. We're lucky enough to secure a spot in finals. We wait and see on results. You'll be updated via the social medias. As always, thank you all for your support. Thank you, Sam, for joining me today.
My pleasure, mate. Thanks for having me on board again. It's been a
No
pleasure.
problem. All right, thank you all for listening. Stay tuned for who we play, and go Stars.
Go Stars.
What you doing?